Hey everyone, I'm Bridget. When I was in high school, I took part in an exchange program and went to study in Germany. I fell in love with the country and decided to stay there. So I got into college and dreamed of becoming an interior designer. I had an older sister called Angelina. A few years ago, she became interested in music and even put together a rock band. She was a celebrity in our hometown. We were very close, even though we lived in different countries. My relationship with the rest of my family wasn't that great. My parents divorced some time ago. Dad threw himself into a new relationship. As for Mom, our relationship status has always been it's complicated. We hardly ever talked. However, it no longer bothered me as much, and I was focused on myself and studying. It all began when I had to do a project with my classmate Theo. I didn't know anyone as lazy as that guy. If there was a Slacker of the Year award, he definitely would have won it. Every time I tried to get Theo to work, he came up with 1,000 excuses not to. I'm just not feeling it today. Let's start tomorrow. I have soccer practice today. We'll definitely start tomorrow, though. What's your excuse this time? Was there an alien attack? Bridget, it's the weekend. Let's play video games and get to work on Monday. I'd had it with him, and I said I would do everything myself. Ever since then, I worked hard, and I wouldn't let Theo anywhere near the project. Let me do something. Anything. You have a very important mission. Quit bothering me. Scram! One day, Angelina called me and told me amazing news. I squealed with joy. Theo almost choked on his pizza in surprise. What happened? My sister is getting married! Yes! However, my joy soon turned into anxiety. After all, I now had to go home for the wedding and see my family. That always ended in disaster. Oh, how I hoped it would be different this time. Before leaving, I told Theo in no uncertain terms I would finish the project without his help. Oh, whatever. You're so mean. What was that? I said, have a good trip. I felt twitchy. Nothing was more important to me than studying. I didn't care what that slacker thought. So, I took my laptop and I got on the plane. I wanted to keep studying on the way, but the child sitting next to me kept crying. Eventually, I snapped at him and his parents. Ahem! Could you keep it down? I can't focus. Everyone looked at me like I was the devil himself. The child started to cry louder. Ugh. I was exhausted by the time we finally landed. However, I had no time to rest, and I was immediately dragged to a family dinner. Let me tell you about my family. That's my grandma. She looks sweet, right? However, she had a terrible temper. My mom was the only person I knew that was harder to get along with. She's that woman arguing with the waiter, by the way. And that's Dad and his new wife. Finally, that's Angelina, the coolest person I knew. And that quiet guy, actually, I'd never seen him before. Bridget, meet my fiancé, Louis. It's nice to meet you. Wow, Angelina had great taste. Louis was cute, well-mannered, and unfailingly polite. He looked at my sister like she'd hung the stars. However, my sister treated Louis terribly. She kept snapping at him and wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise. I'll have a steak. No, bring him a salad. Darling, you need to watch your figure. You do want to look good in our wedding photos, don't you? Seeing Angelina act that way was unpleasant. She was insufferable. I pulled my sister aside. Could I talk to you for a minute? Why are you acting so arrogant? Relax, sister. All the women in our family become bossy sooner or later. Just look at Mom and Grandma. It's gonna happen to you, too. Huh. I looked at my family. Grandma was putting her false teeth on a plate to throw a fit and get a discount. As for Mom, oh, she didn't have an off switch. She was picking on Dad's new wife, the poor thing. Are you trying to look like a clown? That's the only reason anyone would wear so much makeup. Or did you just forget to look in the mirror before coming here? Angelina kept criticizing everything her fiancé did. I realized that I had also been acting quite rude lately. I hadn't let Theo work on our project and snapped at the kid on the plane. Did it really run in the family? Oh, I decided I would do anything to avoid that fate. At that moment, a waiter accidentally dropped a tray of food on me. I didn't shout at him. After all, it wasn't a big deal. Instead, I smiled politely and I helped him clean everything up. Mom and Grandma stared at me in disbelief. If I were you, Bridget, I would have put that clumsy idiot in his place. After dinner, Louis suddenly came up to me and smiled amiably. Bridget, you're very different from your family. So polite and calm. I think it's great. We got to talking and soon we were laughing together. When we got home, my sister pounced on me. How dare you flirt with my fiancé? I almost choked. Sis, do you have a fever? We were just chatting. She collapsed on the sofa dramatically and burst out crying. I'm sorry. I know you wouldn't betray me. But Louis, he's been acting weird lately. He's rarely at home, and he keeps chatting with someone on his phone. She smiled slyly and asked me to follow Louis around and find out what he was hiding. No, I'm not gonna spy on your fiancé. Please? I would do it myself, but I'm gonna be preparing a wedding surprise for him tomorrow. I knew Angelina wouldn't leave me alone until I agreed, so I gave in. After all, I was sure that Louis wasn't hiding anything. My sister was just a drama queen. The next morning, I followed Louis as promised. He seemed like a decent guy. Imagine my surprise when I saw him in a cafe with a girl. Oh, jeez. I have a bad feeling about this. I couldn't hear what they were talking about, but it was obvious that they were close. At parting, they hugged each other gently, and the girl even kissed Louis on the cheek. Thank you for this. I love you. Can you believe it? Was Angelina right to be worried? I had to get to the bottom of it, so I kept spying on Louis. I followed him to a pawn shop. He walked inside and I saw him pawn his wedding ring through the window. Wow, what the hell was going on? After taking the money, he walked outside and called someone. I hid around the corner and I eavesdropped. Yes, I got the money. I'm going to buy a plane ticket for tomorrow. Wait, what? He was supposed to be getting married the next day. Was he planning on running away and leaving Angelina at the altar? That pissed me off, so I stormed up to him. Surprise! Bridget, what are you doing here? That's what I'd like to ask you. I told him that I'd seen him on a date and I demanded an explanation. But instead of coming up with excuses, Louis suddenly burst out laughing. Bridget, you've got it all wrong. The girl you saw me with was my sister Anna. Louis told me that Anna was always getting into trouble. She asked him for help because she needed to leave the city and lie low. I pawned my ring to buy her a ticket. Of course, I'm gonna get it back later. I just didn't have any money with me. He admitted that his family was no picnic. His sister was a mess. His parents were in prison. He was the only one in his family who had achieved success and had a real job. I was too embarrassed to introduce my sister to Angelina. That's why she thought I was hiding something from her. I patted him on the shoulder. I felt for the guy. After all, I knew how complicated family relationships could be. He bought the ticket for Anna, and I got a call from Angelina. Well, did you catch my fiancé red-handed? You have nothing to worry about, sis. Louis is an angel. Thank you, sis. That's a huge relief. Bring him to the tattoo parlor then. I have a gift for him. I put my phone away and I cheerfully dragged Louis to the parlor. Stay strong, Louis. Angelina prepared some sort of surprise for you. I'm a bit scared. Me too, buddy. When we arrived, we saw that my sister was getting a new tattoo. That wasn't surprising. However, what she said shocked even me. Baby, I want you to get a tattoo of my face all over your back. Louis frowned and said he wouldn't do it. Angelina immediately burst into tears like a spoiled child. Don't you love me? It would be so romantic. I tried to talk some sense into her and I said she was acting like our mom and grandma. They were so unbearable their husbands filed for divorce. You don't want to end up like them, do you? That got her mad. She glowered at Louis and me and stomped her foot. Why are you ganging up on me? Traitors! I don't want to see you. With those words, she ran out of the parlor. I wanted to bang my head against the wall. I wished for the wedding to be over so I could go back to Germany and forget about all the drama. They were supposed to be married the next day. Angelina was on edge since the morning. She snapped at everyone. Me, the waiters, and the organizers. My sister didn't like anything. The cake isn't big enough. The tablecloths are ugly. I don't like my dress anymore. I want another one. My eyes started twitching. Instead of helping me calm her down, Mom and Grandma only made everything worse. Granny shouted at the waiters and demanded they carry the food on their heads. Ma'am, I can't do that. Ugh, what is wrong with your generation? I can even dance limbo with a tray on my head. Oops. Clean this up. Mom kept trying to ruin the dress of Dad's new wife. Honey, try the salad. It's delicious. Oh, I'm so clumsy. But the worst thing was that the wedding was about to start and Louis was nowhere to be seen. Angelina soon realized it too. She ran up to me in tears. Bridget, you were right. I've been acting just like our mom. It's no wonder my fiancé ran away from me. What am I supposed to do now? The wedding was slowly turning into a disaster. Only a miracle could save it. Then I got a call from Louis. I stepped aside so I could answer. Where the hell are you? Have you forgotten about your own wedding? No, I'm running late because I was getting my ring back from the pawn shop. I had to wait for the owner to come back from lunch. I'm on my way now. How's Angelina? She's been better. She's crying in the fountain and has already eaten half the cake. You'd better hurry. Please stall them. I'll be there soon. It was up to me to save the day again. I came up to Angelina and I pulled her out of the fountain. Calm down. Let's go get you cleaned up. Lewis is stuck in traffic, but he's flying here on the wings of love. The groom arrived just in time for the start of the ceremony. I even shed a tear when he and Angelina exchanged rings. Not because I was moved, but because I had survived the wedding and I could breathe a sigh of relief. Lewis, dear, I know I treated you terribly. I promise I won't do it again. I love you so much. Angelina, you mean everything to me. I love you too. After seeing such a heartwarming scene, even Grandma and Mom were on their best behavior. The atmosphere was cheerful and romantic. A little later, Lewis came up to me and thanked me for my help. I told him I was terribly afraid of inheriting my mother's temper. After all, I saw what had happened to Angelina. She was just freaking out before the wedding. You have nothing to worry about. My relatives aren't the best people either. We choose what kind of people we want to be. You're gonna be just fine. Thank you, Lewis. And welcome to our crazy family. His words really helped me calm down. The next day, I got on a plane and headed back to Germany. The family I'd snapped at was sitting next to me again. Can you imagine? Their kid started crying again. But this time, instead of getting mad, I told him a fairy tale. That cheered him up, and the rest of our flight was quiet. Being helpful was so much more pleasant than feeling pissed off all the time. So I apologized to Theo for bossing him around. It's your project too. It wasn't fair of me to not let you do anything. So, you should be the one to finish it. Thank you, Bridget. I won't let you down. I thought that I could finally relax a little. Yeah, right. The day before the project was due, I came to ask Theo if everything was ready. Guess what I saw? He was playing video games with his friends and our project looked like a 5-year-old had done it. Theo, did you finish everything in a hurry? Why are you mad again? We're going to fail. I promised myself I'd be calm and polite, but he'd crossed a line. I chased Theo's friends away and I made him turn on his computer and redo everything. We worked all through the night, but it was worth it. Our teacher praised our project and said it was the best one that year. Of course, I was over the moon. However, I was also upset that I couldn't help myself and had yelled at Theo. Then, he suddenly came up to me and thanked me for making him work. I'm sorry that I almost ruined everything. You're a great leader and you know how to achieve all your goals. I think that's pretty cool. That dummy was right. Sometimes being persistent is necessary. It doesn't make you a bad person. Of course, you shouldn't be rude, but it is important to stand up for what's important to you. I learned a good lesson. Luckily, I wasn't the only one who changed. My sister did too. Look at the cute picture she sent me from her honeymoon. Angelina thanked me for opening her eyes. I'm sure she's going to be just fine. Do you think that my mom and grandma could change too? Tell me in the comments down below, and don't forget to like the video.